Hello and welcome back to the channel where it is time for another movie review, and it is for The Hunger Games Catching Fire, my personal favorite out of the Hunger Games movies until The Ballads of Songbirds and Snake comes out next month. So yeah, because the new Hunger Games movie is coming out next month. I last month I reviewed the first movie, and this month I'm reviewing the second movie. And as I said, my personal favorite in terms of book and movie. Obviously, the book is better, but that's a completely different debate. So this movie takes place literally 1 year after the first, and Katniss and Peeta are now having to play lovey-dovey again as they go on the victory tour. But just before the victory tour starts, uh, President Snow pays Katniss a visit and basically tells her to try and convince him that her pulling out the Nylock berries was an act of love, not defiance, which she fails to do. And that results in him kind of doing something different. The easygoing peacekeepers that were already in District 12, well, they're dead. We'll just assume that they're dead. It's never fully stated what happens, or at least I can't remember what is stated to happen for the original lackadaisy peacekeepers of District 12, and they are replaced with more ruthless peacekeepers. The hub where the black market was, that's gone. That is, to be fair, we didn't even see much of it in the movies. We got maybe one scene in the first movie, and then that was it. But in the books, there's multiple different scenes there. But just for some reason in the movies, we get one scene in the first movie, and in this movie, we get its destruction. Um, and then, of course, we have a whipping area, which that's what happens to Gale as he rugby tackles a peacekeeper who's treating his someone from District 12 poorly. That results in him then getting several lashes of the whip. Um, and so yeah, then because it's time for the Hunger Games this time, but it's also the 75th Hunger Games. So that means it's a quarter quell. And President Snow, basically, I don't think he pulled this at random. Obviously, he didn't pull this at random because of the way Snow is, and it's essentially the this quarter quell is going to be them pulling reaping tributes from existing victors, which goes bad for our group in District 12 because there's three victors, two males, one female, and yeah, it's both Peeta and Katniss going back into the games this time, and some of my favorite characters are actually in this movie. That being Finnick Odair. I really, really love his character. It was this movie. I seen the movie before I read the book, and I instantly got attached to Finnick's character in the movie. And then when I read the book, I got even more attached to him because we learn more about Mags and Finnick um, in obviously in the book, and we spend a bit more time with them. So yeah, the main goal with this games for Katniss and Peeta is allies, and they do get some allies. Finnick and Mags, as I mentioned, Joanna from District 7, Beatty and Wires from one of the districts. I forget which district they're from. And funny enough, the actress who plays Wires in this movie, I recognize from a TV show as well as another movie. And that being, she was the actress who plays Wires. I forget the actress's name, but her father was in Star Trek 6, and she played a changeling in Star Trek Picard season 3, as well as she was in Pulp Fiction. Um, so yeah, that's something I only realized whilst watching season 3 of Star Trek Picard was that same person, same actress. Anyway, so yeah, some shenanigans happens. Peeta almost dies. Mags self-sacrifices herself, which is a very emotional scene. Every time I get to that, either in the book or the movie, it's a very emotional scene because I like Mags, for just even the few bits that she's in, just knowing her backstory a bit, uh, you know, allowed that emotional attachment to be formed for this character. The same with Finnick, and Wires gets killed as well. And then in the end, they come up with this plan how to get rid of the last three careers. Um, and that is there's this big tree in the middle of the arena at midnight. Lightning strikes it, so they have a bit of wire. They're going to attach it to an arrow, and whilst they're at the beach, the careers aren't, and so they're going to do swapperoo and kill them. But instead, it's actually there. That's what the initial plan was, but the actual true plan, to kickstart the rebellion, is to stop the arena, blow up the arena. Which is what Joanna does. She pins Katniss down and she takes out her tracker. Um, and Katniss shoots the arrow. Uh, as the lightning strikes, because the copper wires wrapped around it. And the movie ends with some of the victors surviving and being saved and brought to District 13, the fabled District 13 that was supposedly destroyed during the first rebellion. And uh, PETA, unfortunately, has been taken to the capital to be tortured. And District 12 has been bombed. So Gale got as many people out as he could, but obviously not a lot. And yeah, District 12 is no more. And that's when the movie ends, as the rebellion has finally kicked into gear. Now, as I said, I love this movie. Um, Obviously, I'm going to prefer the book over this because the book actually goes through some training that Katniss, Peeta, and Haymitch does. Haymitch even gets sober for this, for the training, in order to do the training, even though he's not too pleased about that. And we also learn about Haymitch's games because Haymitch went in for the 50th quarter quell. And that's when, instead of the standard 24 tributes, they reaped two boys and two girls from each tribute. And we learned then how he won his games. And that's when we also learned the backstory of what happened after he won his games. He won it because he discovered the force field around the arena, and he used that to his advantage when he used the last one. His literal organs were spilling out, and he, as the courier was throwing the axe, he ducked down. It fell off the cliff. It hit the force field. It bounced back and killed the courier, meaning he won. Snow wasn't very happy about that, and so Snow killed his family and his fiance, and that's why Haymitch is the way he is as an alcoholic, because he defied the capital and he paid the price for it. Um, but it's a shame that the movie never covered that or even acknowledged that. And it sucks because it's such a good backstory for Haymitch as to why he is the way he is. So yeah, the main reason why I say Catching Fire is my favorite of these movies is because Katniss isn't a novice in this. In the first one, she was very afraid to kill. She didn't even go to the cornucopia. In the first one, she just, after a quick days of being there, ran off, um, with a bag and like a knife or something. But in this, she goes straight to the cornucopia. She gets the bow, and she kills. She does kill quite a few people in this movie, and so she's not like afraid to do that. And that's why I always say Catching Fire is the superior of the four movies and of the three books. It's because she's not afraid. This is the start of her journey to become the Mockingjay for the next movie. to as the lead to the rebellion. Um, so yeah, really, really loved revisiting this movie. Um, so yeah, that is gonna wrap us up. The next video is going to be on my Five Nights at Freddy's Cinevlog. Um, so yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all for that one on the 30th. But I do have a video on the 29th that I filmed months in advance.